You're watching AdoramaTV.
Hey everybody, welcome to this week's episode of AdoramaTV. I'm Mark Wallace. Well, all you strobists out there who are ready to get your game up to the next level, we're going to tell you how to do that today with the new, these quantum flash packs and flashes. It's all about quantum gear if you really want to go to the next level of strobist shooting. And strobist shooting really means using small flashes that are built for on-camera or off-camera use. And normally you're using a speed light. We're going to talk about how you can use a speed light or the Q-flash system to really maximize your creative potential. So let's talk about the heart of the system, and that's these turbo battery packs here. Now the quantum turbo packs, they're all different makes and models. We're going to talk about two of them. The first is this quantum turbo battery. Now the turbo battery is meant for powering external flashes or cameras, and the nice thing about the turbo battery is you can get all different types of cables, and these cables will plug into just about any camera or flash known to man. And so if you need like a long life out of your flash and you need rapid response, refresh rates, if you're a wedding shooter or a sports shooter and you really need to get the most out of your flash, then you really need a quantum battery pack. Now the turbo battery packs are great because they'll work with normal speed lights as well as the Q-Flash T-Series lights. And so there's the quantum turbo battery. There's this new quantum turbo 3 battery pack. Now the turbo 3 just came out a few months ago. The nice thing is you can see that it is much smaller than the original turbo pack, and so it's higher power output, it has more juice to it, and it's actually smaller. Now the other thing that's really nice about the turbo 3 is it has two outputs. So the quantum turbo has a 2x2. This is just the turbo 3, two outputs. And so that means that you can have one powering your flash and the other powering your camera if you would like. So you have two choices here. They have these nice little caps that lock in, so it's makes sure that your equipment doesn't get damaged. And then the power button here is recessed, so you're not going to accidentally turn that off in the middle of a shoot. It's got a belt clip on it. In fact, both of these have belt clips, and then they both also have a place for a strap on there. And I didn't put that one on this guy right here, but you can. The nice thing about having a strap on that is if you have a shoot where you're using a Q-flash or different flash on a light stand, you can actually hang that right on your stand, and the battery acts as a weight as well as being really nice and close to your flash. It's really, really cool. I use that all the time. Well, let's talk about this Turbo 3 over here. I purchased a cable that plugs right into my 580EX2. I'll plug that into the Turbo 3 here. I'm going to flip this over so I know. It gives you a little clue here. This says you can plug your flash in here, and this says you can plug a flash or a camera into this one. So you need to make sure you plug it into the right side. So I'm going to plug this guy in really fast. And once I get that in there, the nice thing is it locks right in there. It's really nice and sturdy. I'll turn on my Turbo 3 by pushing and holding that. It says I've got full juice. Now watch this. This is really amazing. What I can do is this is built for long battery life and fast refresh rates, and so I put it on a really fast camera, and watch this. So if you're shooting the president or something that you really need those fast refresh rates, this is going to help you do that. Now the warning is your flash is going to melt before the battery runs out. So the nice thing about the Nikon speed lights is they have a little thermometer on them that will tell you, hey, it's getting hot, and they'll shut down. The Canons, well, some of these older Canons will just melt down on you. So you need to watch out that you don't overheat your flash by using this, because it will give you some extra horsepower. If you're not used to it, you might melt something. So again, these these battery packs will work with almost any flash known to man. And we looked it up on their, the Quantum website, and we came up with, I believe it was 72 different brands. So there's so many that we don't even want to mention all of them here, because that would be the whole video. But it'll work with Metz, it'll work with Pentax, Olympus, Nikon, Canon, Sony, Vivitar, all the major brands that'll work. And it'll also power many, many different brands of camera as well. And so, of course, Canon and Nikon. We also saw Mamiya and Hasselblad. So if you're shooting with a little bit larger system, these battery packs are really going to help you out. Now, the other thing that's really nice about the Turbo 3 is the recharger. So this plugs right into the wall, and this is how you charge up your battery. And it'll just be a trickle charge. The nice thing about the new the Turbo 3 is that the charger allows you to take off your normal US plug, and if you're traveling overseas, you can put different adapters on there. So that really makes it nice if you're traveling all over the world. You can just pop those on and off, and you have one outlet. Okay, now let's talk about the other part of this system that I really, really like, and that is the Q-Flash. Now the Q-Flash is it's a step above a normal speed light, because it's got about triple the power output. and it really mimics a studio light, a studio strobe in a couple of different ways. The output is really nice and powerful. The color temperature is really nice and consistent, and you can put light modifiers on this, which is really, really nice. So on this guy right here, this is the Q-Flash T5DR. Now the T means it works with the turbo packs. You can get the X5, which is used with the Q-Pack system. Now we don't have any Q-Packs here, but the Quantum Q-Pack system and the X5 system, it is about twice as powerful as the turbo system. And so if you really need some punch, then go for the X system. They're a little bit more expensive, but you have a lot more power. Now the Q-Flash here, let me first talk about the light modifiers in this. This has a little adapter that allows me to just take this right off. Now this is the normal reflector that comes with that. Rings like a bell. And then what you can do is you can really see that this guy here has a really large strobe inside there. It looks like a studio strobe, and it behaves like that as well. Well, the nice thing about this is you can put different light modifiers on there. So I'm going to take this guy out right here. This is the Quantum Softbox. It's a 12 by 12 inch softbox, and it's about $70. And it opens just like an umbrella. So I'll just pop this like that, and you can see that this guy here will just stick right onto your Q-Flash. You lock it on, and now you've got a softbox. It's really, really nice. You can also take this guy off. I'm going to set this on the floor here. And if you have a normal reflector, you pop that guy on. And then if you want to have a little bit more diffused light, well, this comes in the box. It's a little diffuser that goes right on there. And you've got that. They have soft light reflectors. They've got telephoto reflectors. The telephoto reflector will actually give you about double the distance in your flash. So if you really need to shoot something far away, like birds or something, this will help you do that. So you got all these different light modifiers. There's a bare bulb adapter that just makes sure that you can really light up a room. If you're a wedding photographer, these are great because you can place them in the corners of your reception hall, and they'll light up the entire hall. And speaking of that, how do you trigger these things? Well, there's a couple of different options for triggering these. If you're a true TTL metering person, well, then you can get one of these. And this is a Ttl Adapter. And what that means, and you have to get this specifically to your camera's make and model, so you need to go to the Quantum website, make sure you look and see which one is right for you. But this will allow you to use the TTL metering on your camera to make sure that you get the correct flash exposure. Now the neat thing about this, I'll flip this upside down so you can see it, is this allows you to change your flash exposure compensation right from the top of this dial here. And so you can go down 3 stops or up 2 stops. You can choose front or rear curtain sync. There's also a focus assist. So if you're shooting in really low light, you can turn this on, and it'll has a really high power IR or infrared beam that goes out. Now I tested this when I first got this system a few years ago, and I was shooting in complete total darkness, and I was still able to shoot and focus in complete darkness. Now that might not work for you, but I was amazed that I could actually do that in absolute dark. And that's what that'll give you. Now, you can choose to do it that way. There is the free X-Wire adapter, which allows you to shoot totally wirelessly, and so you don't have any of these cables going between your camera and the Q-Flash. And so for wedding shooters that want to use TTL, you can do that. Now let's say that you want to use full manual. Well, there's an option for you as well. And I've got this Q-Flash, by the way, mounted to a normal light stand. You can do that, or with a bracket, you can mount it to your camera. So you need a flash bracket to put it above your camera. On the back here, there's all different kinds of modes. There's auto mode, there is QTTL mode, there's full manual mode, and then there's some program modes that you can use. Unfortunately, we don't have time to go through all of those modes, but they're very advanced. You can really dial this guy in here. Well, if you want to do some manual shooting with this, you can trigger this in a couple of different ways. So it comes with a normal sync cable. So here's the sync cable, and if you look, it looks like a little, just a normal plug that you'd have in the wall. And this sync cable will just go into any sync adapter. So I've got this old camera here. This is an old Pentax, and you'll see that when I turn this guy on, I can trigger it, and it'll actually fire from an old camera. Or if you want to trigger this wirelessly, you can use the free X-Wire, and it's free X-Wire, not meaning that it's free, meaning that it's free of cables. It's just the name of it. You can also get a Pocket Wizard, and you can get from Pocket Wizard a little adapter here that looks just like the one that we showed you earlier. It plugs into the side of your Quantum Flash or Q-Flash, and then this will trigger wirelessly. So then if you have another Pocket Wizard, you can pop this wirelessly and put that on there, which is really nice, which means this will work with just about any camera that you can think of, because you can either do it fully manually or you can use it with TTL. It's really, really awesome. Now, one other thing I want to talk to you about with the Q flash system that's really nice, these have indicators all over them. So you have lights on the side that will tell you if you've got a proper exposure, and you also have this little earpiece that you can plug into the Q flash to listen, and it'll give you audible tones. So if you're shooting in a wedding or something, you can listen into this guy, and it'll give you little beeps to tell you if you got a proper exposure, if it was overexposed or underexposed, so you can just keep shooting and adjusting without ever taking your eyes off the camera. So there you have it. It's the Quantum system. You've got turbo packs, you've got a Q flash, you've got all kinds of different options. It will work with almost any camera, any flash. It's very, very impressive, and it'll really take you to the next level if you're a strobist out there in the field. Well, thanks for joining us this week. Remember, if you have questions about photography-related gear, send it to me at AskMark@Adorama.com. Thanks for joining us. I'll see you next week.
This episode is brought to you by AdoramaTV. Visit the Adorama Learning Center, where you'll find photography tips and techniques, links to the gear used in this episode, and related videos. For all the latest photography, video, and computer gear, visit Adorama.com. And the next time you're in New York City, visit our store, located on 18th Street between 5th and 6th Avenue.